thing missing is the puff of smoke.
Well, in today's video, we're going to visit the Adirondack Live Steamers layout. Now, the Adirondack Live Steamers have been around since 1984. They're built on a plot of land formerly owned by the Busing family near Saratoga Springs, New York. They've got more than 7,000 feet of track that winds through the woods and swamps, and it's just for the purposes of hobbyist recreation and preservation of steam locomotive technology. And hey, why not? Let's go recreate at the Adirondack Live Steamers. Now today we're running Jeremy Gay's Canadian-built model of an EMD GP40. It's all decked out in Canadian national livery, and it features a Loc-Sound sound system, and it has a current sensor on the traction motor leads. That's really important, and you'll hear that in just a little bit. Now the Adirondack Live Steamers Railroad is called the Adirondack Southern Railroad, and it's just built as a giant circle. A bunch of loops of track. That's really part of the charm. It's built by people who have locomotives and cars that they've built. They want to run them on a track, and they want to run them in someplace interesting. Yeah, they really couldn't afford to connect to distant places, but that's really not the point of this kind of railroad. It's just to have fun, trundling around in circles and enjoying it with your friends.
That's a nice touch.
Now, a little bit about this locomotive. This locomotive was built somewhere around 2012 by Reynold Proul of Quebec City, Quebec. The locomotive is all aluminum and features 2 traction motors. Reynold loves to build in aluminum, and his entire shop is made from scrap. And this is all made from scrap aluminum. As a matter of fact, the drive system is a former electric wheelchair that was scrapped, and he recycled it and turned it into this beautiful locomotive. Now, originally, the power was supplied by a bank of lead-acid batteries, but the owner, Jeremy Gay, has replaced those with lithium-ion batteries, and they last him much longer and give him a lot more enjoyment per charge. And hey, did I mention bridges? This railroad has a lot of through bridges, all handmade. Beautiful works of art. And the wooden trestles aren't bad either. here's a nice example of a wooden through-truss bridge. Now, I don't know much about these other locomotives that you see in this video. Don't know who owns them or who built them, but I can guarantee they were all hand-built. Now, you may have noticed that the bell's a little bit weird in this locomotive. I will have to agree with you. Yes, the bell is a little bit weird. So is the horn in this locomotive. And here's why. It's a Loc Sound sound controller from an HO scale locomotive. Yep, that's what it is. And it's in this huge 1/8 scale locomotive. That's part of the joy of a hobby. You can take things that are intended for one thing and repurpose it for something completely different that the manufacturer had no idea that anybody would try to do something with it in that manner. And this is one of those examples. And I'll bet you the problem with the bell has something to do with maybe the sound sample files, or maybe it's the button itself. I don't know. But it's one of those things that you get to tinker with when you have a locomotive like this. this has to be my favorite scene on the whole railroad. This is Dean's Bridge, built in 1998, and is an all-steel through-truss bridge. It is a work of art. Now, you may notice a few tents coming up here, and that's because members can camp out at the track, so they don't have to go to a hotel or anything like that. They just stay at the track, eat there, sleep there, run trains, and run trains until you fall asleep. Now we've come to the aptly named Horseshoe Trestle, which brings the line over a corner of the swamp that the railroad tends to go in and out of throughout its circuitous route. It is an excellent place to watch trains go by. this has got to be my second favorite part on this whole layout. This bridge is gorgeous. Very, very well built. I don't know the technical name of this kind of through bridge, but it's one of my favorites and is well placed on this railroad. This is the last crossing before you go under the underpass, under the driveway to get to the Adirondack Live Steamers clubhouse. And we're going to watch an East Broad Top live steam coal burner go through. And we finally come around the curve by the clubhouse and into the yard, and we're going to get off the train and watch a couple of steam engines go by. Oh, we hope you enjoyed our visit to the Adirondack Live Steamers Fall Meet from September 11th, 2021. If you like this video, you might consider subscribing. Hit that bell notification to get notification of each new video as they come out so you don't miss a single one. And if you feel so inclined, become a patron on Patreon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.